Okay, trivia time. Who is the best character to have never won a Melee major? If you asked that question a few years ago, people in the Melee zeitgeist would have probably said Yoshi, when aMSa proved to the world his dino could do it and single-handedly moved the character up the tier list from a bottom 7 option to a bona fide top 10. Before that, maybe you'd think of Pikachu when Axe took the electric mouse all the way at Smash Summit 8, over 10 years into his incredible career. Ice Climbers is a character I've mentioned a bunch who have been cursed to obscurity. Captain Falcon even faced a curse of his own in the Stone Ages of Melee, where players thought it was genuinely impossible to win a tournament with him. But, you know where I'm going with this one. What about Luigi? And yeah, I know, Walt, this is the 10th time you've shown Luigi to the class. Walt, how many more Luigi videos? Walt, put the Luigi in the bag. But honestly, I don't think Luigi has ever really been in the conversation as a good character with the potential to win. Largely in part because, 1, he's not exactly like good, and 2, he's never even made the podium before. In fact, in the entire 25-year competitive history of Super Smash Bros. Melee, no single Luigi player has ever made grand finals of a major tournament. That is, until RapMonster. At Pat's House 5 in San Diego, a 19-year-old fresh out of high school Luigi player from Virginia did something the character has literally never done before. And in the process, he's cemented himself as, in my opinion, the greatest Luigi player to ever touch the sticks. Big thanks to Raycon, who's paid for this segment. So Raycon's been a pretty consistent partner on this channel over the last few years, and I've really enjoyed all of the products they've had me try, like truly. I'm not really picky when it comes to audio options, so I just like headphones or earbuds that are pragmatic and make sense for my daily routine. I literally use Raycon's Essential Open Earbuds every day for that reason. But I just got sent Raycon's new Everyday Clip earbuds, and they may be overtaking the slot as my go-to option when I'm out and about. They're great for workouts or just everyday activity. They have a similar open ear design to the Essential Open Earbuds, which lets me hear stuff around me, and the battery life has honestly been great. I haven't even had to charge them yet since getting them a couple weeks ago. A couple personal notes that I actually really like about these: the hammer end of the clip has an actual physical button on it, which makes accidentally pausing or skipping songs pretty much impossible. And the lights on the case are actually sided, so when you close it, you can just physically confirm that both earbuds are engaged with the charging case. So if you're interested in a solid addition to your everyday routine, you can click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/turndownforALT clip to get 15% off. Thanks again to Raycon for supporting the channel, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Alright, so here's the deal. We have data for Luigi's tournament performance. Like I mentioned in that first Luigi video, which kinda popped off by the way, so let's go, let's do it again, come on, give me more views, do it, please. Anyway, the best performance by placement that Luigi had ever seen was from a player who didn't even main Luigi, which was Plup at CEO Dreamland 2017. I'm not ashamed to say I've been reprimanded by the Luigi Discord to say that this is not the best Luigi run of that era, because the award for that goes to the most historically significant Luigi player in Melee, which was Abate at the Big House 5. But Plup got 5th at Dreamland and Abate got 7th at the Big House, and the outside of top 4 was kind of seen as the ceiling to this character's potential. Tangent disclaimer sort of thing, but Eddie Mexico technically reached the podium at Smash Factor X with a 3rd place finish, but that was considered a national tournament, not to the same level of prestige as a major. So if these players couldn't do it, who could? Also in that first big Luigi video, I said, and I quote, this is when past me starts talking. In truth though, I don't think it's all that crazy to call it early and say RapMonster is probably the best Luigi player in Melee's history. He already has consistently high placements that are either on par or above past Luigi grades. He has unbelievable wins on his resume, and this is during a time period where Melee is considered significantly harder. I mean, it has been 20 years after all. But to quickly recap the tournament itself, this was Pat's House 5 running from May 2nd to 3rd, 2026 in San Diego, California. It had 338 entrants, and for an only 2-day event, the singles bracket was still quite top-heavy, even with it being the week right after Full House Siege. Our top players included the aforementioned RapMonster, plus Zain, Hungrybox, Jmook, Joshman, Axe, Crudo, and Aura, plus a former top 100 ranked player from Chile named Chape, and a rare sighting of my old Beast Coast teammate, S2J. The one seed coming in here was actually Hungrybox, who was fresh off making grand finals at Full House Siege and coming off one of the most relevant placements of his career in over a year. And he placed 13th, so, you know. But this opened the door for a number of possibilities, and naturally, given my propensity to Luigi post plus a desire to see the weird Italian character win, my eyes immediately darted to RapMonster. Hungrybox had just proven himself as the iron wall to RapMonster's bracket at Full House, and he was completely out of the way before top 8 qualifiers. And of the top seeds remaining in the bracket, he's beaten Moki and Zain at least once. He took Jmook to Game 5 at Full Bloom last year, he's beaten Crudo several times in the last year, and went Game 5 with axe in 2024. In all honesty, the biggest roadblocks on the surface for RapMonster look to be Aura, who he's traded sets with this year, Joshman, who he's never played, and maybe like S2J for the Bad Falcon matchup, but he was already in losers. So what resulted at Pat's house was quite possibly one of the most unique top 4s I have ever seen in Melee. I kinda just alluded to this, but the bracket got weird before we even reached top 32. Hungrybox, the 1 seed of the entire tournament, ended at 13th place. He had first lost to Chape, a Chilean Fox player formerly ranked in the top 100 in 2022, and aside from this being a big upset by seeding, Chape had actually specifically taken a coaching session from Cody Schwab the week before to prepare for the Jigglypuff matchup. The rest of HBox's run didn't really do him any favors either, as he'd start the main bracket in losers and beat Malachi and Axe before falling to S2J of all players for 13th. The reason I bring this up, even though this is kind of a RapMonster video, but for most of this year, Hungrybox has been the one player I felt would pose the biggest problem for the next generation. Every wave has its wall, the player whose games just don't bend to the new ideas, who force the next gen to actually figure them out before they get to see the summit. Cody is probably the best player this summer, sure, but Hungrybox is the test of players. Even if he's not vying for number 1, HBox, in my opinion, has always been the player most difficult to solve for new top players. Chape, for an incredible upset over HBox, actually ended up losing in winners round 1 to Faust. And just 1 round later, our protagonist, without an HBox in sight, began to make his move. To make it into a top 8 at a major tournament as Luigi, you have to do something that has not been done since 2017. The bar is set pretty high for mid-tiers simply because there's nowhere else for them to go but up, but Plup, a former top 5 player in the world, got that top 8 placement at CEO Dreamland, and even for him, that was the deepest Luigi run he ever put together. Abate, for all of his achievements, had a peak ranking of 33rd in 2015. RapMonster has already eclipsed this with a 2025 rank of 28th, and I honestly, truly believe he has a strong argument to be top 10 or even top 5 by the summer 2026 ranking. But Plup, Abate, and a small handful of other brave green plumber mains are basically the entire historical context for what this character is capable of. RapMonster already knocked on the door of this history here, first beating Khalid and then Faust in back-to-back puff sets to qualify into top 8 on the winner's side. And this mattered a lot too, aside from the historical implication that this was the first Luigi player in like 10 years to make a major top 8, RapMonster was on the winner's side. I've mentioned this in recaps, but for people who may not understand how tournament structures work, you basically get 2 tries to win a tournament. Your first life, as it were, is in winners, so if you lose on this side of the bracket, you can still win the entire event by beating everyone else who falls to the loser's bracket. Once you lose in the loser's bracket though, your tournament is over. So starting in winners matters simply because you just get an extra chance to progress that much further in a bracket. And within the context of RapMonster's run, this meant 2 chances at the best Luigi placement of all time without the stonewall that was Hungrybox present for either attempt. In top 8, RapMonster had a rematch with Aura, the Pacific Northwest Peach player who had ended the Luigi's run at Full House Siege the week prior. And in a 5-game set played entirely on Final Destination, the Luigi looked unstoppable. I even got the shout out ahead of making this video, so thanks, dude.
What's that, Walter?
Oh, the trade.
What have you brought us for class, Walter? A 7th RapMonster video? A 7th RapMonster video?
Another hug.
Oh my god.
Dude.
It's all hugs and handshakes here, folks.
It's all love.
Holy moly.
But the win over Aura set RapM up for winners finals against none other than the player who put RapMonster on the map to begin with, Zain. Okay, so let me back up for a quick beat, because to understand what this winners finals actually was, you probably should understand what 2026 has meant for both of these players' careers. So here's the quick rundown. It all started at Cashbox 3, where RapMonster beat Zain in Thug finals of an online tournament. I made a video covering that, and it blew up. Then at Bare Necessities, RapMonster beat Zain again in another exhibition, this time at a LAN, which quelled any doubts about a Luigi beating the best player in the world, only online. And it all culminated in Genesis X3, where RapMonster beat Zain for a third set in a row, this time in a real bracket. He went on to beat other top players since then, which I've already covered or will be covering in future videos. Cody, Moki, and Wizrobe, to name a few, which, hey, make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like these, but the rivalry that had sprouted between RapMonster and Zain was truly one of the most refreshing things I've seen in Melee in a hot minute. The exhibitions probably don't count for rankings, so the official tournament set record between them was 1-0 in RapMonster's favor heading into Pat's house. But the vibe matchup was bad, dude. There was something about this teenager wearing a backpack in all of his tournament sets that had threw Zain off balance. RapMonster had genuinely been the better player in this matchup for almost half a year. And Zain hadn't exactly been having a great year either, by the way. He had been seeing very unusual placements and set drops after that RapMonster Genesis set, and perhaps more importantly, he was still seeking that major victory that he had become so familiar with in 2025. The player who was arguably the nucleus to this slump period was sitting right across from him for this next set, with some interesting stakes on either side. For RapMonster, this was already history in the making, a guaranteed podium placement and a guaranteed statement as the greatest Luigi tournament ever, regardless of where he ends up now. For Zain, it was a shot at redemption, a rebound into the #1 player Melee has known him to be for years now.
Air dodge! The longest air dodge return in history, needs a misfire, I feel like, to get back here.
Needs the biggest smash in all of history, has no jump, that's gonna do it.
Zain didn't just win, he handled it. This was a matchup that had been keeping him up at night for probably 6 months, and he made it look like the Marth-favored matchup it was supposed to be. And what's crazy is that this single set probably reshaped Zain's confidence more than any other top player going into the rest of the year. But by winning in such dominant fashion, that made the opportunity RapMonster was now presented that much more legendary. In losers finals, RapMonster faced off against Moki, and as is a consistent theme in a lot of Luigi matchups, this one isn't great either, because Fox is fast, mobile, and has a button built specifically to make Luigi explode, but it's not all doom and gloom. Luigi gets a solid chain grabbing stage in Final Destination, and if he can keep pace with Fox and Moki's blistering speed, the punish and edgeguard can sometimes be comparable. Also, I did a much deeper breakdown on edgeguard flowcharts and analysis and things of that nature on the video when RapMonster beat Cody, so just watch that if you want to know what I think about the Fox-Luigi matchup while I work on the Moki-Wizzy one. So yeah, thanks. On that note though, RapMonster actually just beat Moki last week at Full House, but that was in Swiss pools. Not to say it doesn't matter, because beating Moki and Wizzy in that pool arguably made Rap's bracket at Full House worse for him, but the stakes were much higher here. The first 2 games went to RapMonster, with game 1 being a full channeling of Luigi essence as a misfire literally steals the game away. The lock-in from Moki came fast as he answered back with 2 games of his own to force a game 5 and a potential reverse 3-0. Final Destination barely didn't work in game 4, so RapMonster ran it back for the final game. RapMonster cashes in on the enhanced punish game afforded by Final Destination and brings both players to last stock. And then
RapMonster has the grab, Jack!
Hey,
He's got the grab!
It's dropped!
And he picks up the pieces!
He wants grand finals, he wants a piece of Zain, but so does Moki!
Oh!
It's
Finds
could
an
be
air!
here.
Up there! Down air! Moki's off stage! Can he clean it up? No! The opportunity was there to go to ledge, he doesn't get there in time, but the
forward tilt! And a down air to win it! It's gonna be the rematch! RapMonster in grand finals of Pat's house! An incredible set from both players!
It's an instant classic.
I cannot oversell what just happened there. In 2026, RapMonster has become the first Luigi player to ever reach a major grand finals. Even if he lost here, he's already become the highest placing Luigi at any major in the entire history of competitive Melee. But now, he had the opportunity to take it one massive step further. Moki's walling out. Grab, come on!
Oh, here we go.
Come on! No. Get the grab, yes. Oh. Get the grab again. Okay, whatever, just take knockdown.
Oh my god.
Huge! Do it!
Oh my god.
Come on, Rap. Edge got
Oh no!
good recovery from the Mokester.
Good after.
Wait.
Yes,
He's done.
He's dead.
Let's go! Come on!
Holy shit.
God, tracksuit Rap M goes crazy.
No way.
He sits his ass back down knowing he knows.
Wait, there's like 5 people, so many people in the chat who just keep saying, Walt, where are you? So let's look at the characters who made it into this top 4. We have a Peach, a Fox, a Marth, and a Luigi. 4 distinct characters with 4 distinct playstyles. Aura, the Peach who had been breathing new life into this character while sneakily turning into a top 8 regular. Moki, the newest player to win a major trying to refamiliarize himself with the summit. Zain, the established veteran chasing his first major win of the year. And RapMonster, the breakout 19-year-old forcing the community to rethink the tier list in a way that has not been seen since the days of aMSa. I mentioned this in the Out of the Blue recap, but in 2025 there were only 5 unique characters represented in grand finals. This isn't all that out of the ordinary when you consider the same top players tend to make it to the end of bracket, but somehow in the first half of 2026, we've already gotten 7 unique characters in grands. Fox, Sheik, Captain Falcon, Ice Climbers, Jigglypuff, and now Marth and Luigi at Pat's House 5. That is insane. Now for grand finals, Zain has the bracket lead from winner's side, while RapMonster has just completed the greatest Luigi run of the modern era with room to go. The crowd is locked in. Welcome to a moment in history.
And so to get this far is an incredible achievement, but now on his last stock, it's gonna take a miracle to stop the train of Zain that's coming through.
Yeah, Zain trying to play the role of Dream Crusher, make it a brief first grand
What about
final
my
appearance
dreams?
for Luigi.
What about my grand finals? What about my Pat's house?
He's hitting him with 45 up airs.
And another misfire comes through, but it's all just Zain trying to close it out.
Yeah, has the Luigi way up at 133%.
A down air,
second.
and the winner
That's
of
gonna do
Pat's House 5, once again, Zain.
It's the repeat. And, you know, I feel like we have to preface by just saying good stuff to RapMonster. You know, the farthest any Luigi has ever gone.
Yeah.
An insane height that I don't think any of us thought we would see in the, at least, you know, immediate Melee history.
Yeah.
But Zain says, Papa's home.
It's moments like these that remind me that, no, the YouTuber who wants to see the funny green man win doesn't always get what he wants. Yes, Zain absolutely dominated in this grand finals. A 3-0 finish to the greatest Luigi run in Melee history is a little anticlimactic. But at the same time, this was a version of Zain people had been waiting on for months, finally clicking against an unexpected rival. This win gave Zain his first major title of the year and broke his cold streak. That is a hell of a way to flip the script. But even though I didn't get the mid-tier outcome that I wanted, I can't stop thinking about the fact that a 19-year-old, someone who is literally younger than the game he plays, has already created this much history in this short a time. RapMonster just produced the greatest tournament run of any Luigi player that has ever been, and his rivalry with Zain is barely 6 months old. This is the start of something. Pat's House 5 was a tournament where the records broke faster than the community could keep up with. Hell, they broke faster than I could make videos on it too. The first Luigi player to reach grand finals at a major in the entire history of the game. The highest placing Luigi at any major ever. The first Luigi top 8 since Plup in 2017. Zain's first major title of the year. And a historic top 4. Marth, Luigi, Fox, and Peach that may never, ever repeat. Melee is so sick. Thanks for watching. Big thanks to my top tier patrons and YouTube members. You can find those links in the description if you want to support the channel and you, more importantly, have the disposable income to do so. But thank you to Avishua Stein, Bobby Wasabi, Brent Mukai, Carter Roberts, Dark Genix, Eric is Cool, Gustavo Cantu Fernandez, James Fabman, Justin Duncan Mills, Kyle Carlin, Marshall Bradley, Rosewood, and Sam Wright. Okay, that's it. Bye!